Good evening, everybody. My name is Eric Hilliard, and I'm here to talk about the F-16 Fighting Falcon electrical power generation system, to include the emergency system that backs it up in the event that there is an issue with the main power generation system. So before we get to the specifics, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about just the generic stuff. So as you guys know, this aircraft was manufactured in the United States. It is a single-seat or two-seat aircraft, but primarily for operational purposes, I prefer the single seat. As you can see, max speed is over 1,000 miles an hour. Max range, 2,415 miles. It's got the dimensions there. And most F-16s either carry a Pratt & Whitney 220 or 229 motor, or a GE F-110, could be a 100 or 129 motor. And then at the bottom here, you see the weapons capabilities that I'm not going to go over for the purpose of this presentation. So you're probably wondering to yourself, what does the electrical power system of an F-16 consist of? Well, it has an AC power and a DC power subsystem, along with an external power subsystem that can be powered through a piece of support equipment, and of course the electrical distribution system that distributes all the current to the necessary components. So what you're looking at here is the main generator, also known as the CSD assembly, which is basically a main generator CSD combo. Essentially, it's made up of a constant speed transmission and a constant speed generator that provides 115 volts AC, 400 hertz power to all the necessary aircraft components. So talking about the CSD a little bit further, like I said, it's consists of a constant speed drive and a generator that maintains a constant output. It's a 4-pole, 60 kVA system, 115, 200 volt, 400 hertz unit that operates on 3 different phases to provide the necessary power to all the essential buses for the aircraft. So you're probably wondering, what happens if this generator fails, right? Single engine aircraft. Well, no worries. There's actually a backup generator, that provides power. This standby generator, is always operating, but it's not actually providing anything until actually needed. And what happens is the main generator, if it were to fail, power would be sent to an emergency bus, which would be transferred through a relay, and this generator would start providing power to all the necessary components of the aircraft. So you say to yourself, well, that's great, Eric. You've got a backup in the event your main generator fails, but what happens if the backup fails? Well, in this case, your emergency generator power unit pictured on the left has a 5 kVA generator attached to it, which also has a rating of 150 to 200 volts, 3 phases at 400 hertz, and this is spinning at 12,000 RPMs. So talking about the emergency power unit and its generator, this is a schematic right here, but we're going to speak specifically to the 5 kVA generator right here, whose primary concern is to provide power to the flight control power converter regulators, which still allows you aircraft control because this is a fly-by-wire aircraft. Electrical power is crucial in the ability to operate these flight controls to hopefully guide the pilot somewhere safe to eject, if not to land on a runway. So just to recap, we've talked about the F-16 Fighting Falcon aircraft power system, which consists of a 60 kilovolt amp 3-phase, 150 volts AC generator capable of putting out 400 hertz power. Our 3-phase, 10 kilovolt amp standby generator, which is the backup to the main generator. And finally, our emergency power unit emergency generator, also a 3-phase, 5 kilovolt amp, rated at 150 over 200 volts, capable of putting out 400 hertz of power to the aircraft. Any questions?